lovely people, you're welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to teach you how to attach zip to your skirts and your dress. And so I have three types of zips here. I have secret zip. This is what they call American zip. This is the common one in the market. You can easily get it anywhere. And this one too is a form of American zip, but more of a fashion, something fashionable thing that people use a lot. And so I have a top here. I'm going to use it to teach you how to fix one of the zips. And then I have this also here that I'm going to use. I have created my zip allowance, so this is assumed to be my zip allowance that I'm going to use. And this one too, measure 2 inches, folded on top and then ironed it very well. I have attached stiff to it because I'm using lining, and lining, you know, it's very light and soft, so I needed to attach stiff to it to make it a bit heavier. Okay, so I'm going to use that to teach you. Now I have two footers here. I have two footers. One is a zip footer and one is a regular footer. This is a zip footer for my machine. We have different types of zip footers. Now, these are another zip footers for industrial machine. One is for left and one is for right. So this is for my industrial machine, and this is for my electric machine. This one too is a regular footer for my electric machine. Okay, and so what we are going to do, I'm going to teach you how to use the regular footer to sew zip or attach a zip to a dress, and how to use the zip footer. So we are going to put these footers aside because I'm not going to use the industrial machine to teach you. Okay, and so we are going to start with the dress. So I'm going to use this zip for it. And fixing zip, we have two ways. The usual way that people fix zip is this way. You just place it on it, and then you are going to sew on top all through. I'm not going to use this method to fix my zip. I am going to use the secret method of fixing zip to fix my zip. All the same, I'll teach you this method also, but I'm teaching you how to attach American zip in a secret way, in a secret form. Zip allowance is inside. We'll place this one also here. You can decide to bring it up here for it to be equal with the dress. You just have to fold this inside and then sew on top, and that is it. Or you can decide to do it this way. So if you do it this way, it means you're going to attach hook and eye to this. If not, your client will wear and the client will not feel comfortable. I mean, I'm going to give it a hook and eye, so I'm going to do it this way. In order to get everything well, you open the zip. You have to make sure that it's just at you see we have the corner here, the zip corner here. That's where you are going to place the zip allowance points this way. And so you are going to make sure that it's just at the corner there, and then you are going to turn it this way, turn it this way, and you are going to pin it. Now with this dress, I am giving it a full zip. I'll just leave some few inch, like ½ inch or 1 inch down here, and that is okay for me. But I'll also teach you, in case you are not going to give your dress a full zip, how you will lock it. So this is it, you see. So when I turn it this way, you can see that it is just at the corner here. After this, you are going to do the next one. And so you come to the next one. You have to make sure that when you are placing your zip, it will be equal. because if you are not careful, you will sew and one will be longer than the other. It is very stressing when it happens that way. It is very stressing. And so see where I place it. I have some 0.1 inch here, and so I'm going to consider the same thing also here and then place it the same way. I'm going to open this up. Okay. So while you are pinning to, you have to be straightening it up, because when you are sewing, you will just be pulling. And so if you are not careful, you will sew, and after you realize that one of the zip is longer than the other. So try as much as you can to straighten it with your hands. Okay, so this is it. So after when you finish, don't just go straight away and sew. Just close it and see if everything is okay, everything is in line. So this is it. And so you also, when you are making sure that everything is okay, now you are checking if this side and this side are equal. One is no longer than the other. And you are also checking if the waistline, if you did a cut and join dress, then the waistline here is equal. One is not higher than the other. Then you're also checking the down here, like because of the way I fixed my zip, you are also checking the down here if it's equal. One is not shorter than the other. If you realize that everything is okay, then you are going to sew on top. Now, sometimes you can have everything equal like this, but you sew and after you realize that one is longer than the other. And I'm going to teach you the trick in avoiding that. So let's put this aside and do the others. Okay, so we have this one also here. As I say, let's assume this is my zip line and I made it 2 inches. I have pins here. I'm going to remove the pins and we are going to use it to learn. So let's assume this is the upper part of your dress. This is the upper part. If it's a skirt, this is the waistline. If it's a top, this is the neckline, and this is the down part. And you don't want to give it a full zip, and so it means you are going to close here a bit. You are going to close here where you want the zip to end. And so we have this secret zip. So I'm going to use to teach you how to fix secret zip. Okay, so if it's a secret zip, don't close this. If it's a secret zip, once again, if it's a secret zip, don't close it. Finish sewing before you close it, because sometimes it can be very stressing. Okay, so this is the inside, because this is where our zip line is, and this is the outside. So we open it up this way, and then when you pick one, this is it. You are going to, the secret zip, this side is supposed to, this is where it is facing. This side is going inside. So you see the difference between the American zip is that the American zip, this side will go inside, this side will come outside. But with the secret zip, look at where the handle of the zip is, you see. So it means this one is the one that will face you, that will show out, and this one is the one that is going inside the dress. Okay, and so you are going to place it this way. So you open up and then you place it this way, in close to the corner here. You are pinning close to this because that's where you are going to sew. If you don't sew there and you sew here, after, this is what will happen. If you sew on this one, if you sew here, after, this is what will happen. After, this is what will happen. But at the end of the day, you want to make sure that it will hide, because we call it secret zip, and so it will hide like this. But also, if you are not careful, you will sew on the zip, and I'm going to teach you how to do all of that. And so we are going to pin this everything together. One trick is also that when you are using the regular footer to sew, then make sure that you would bring it very close, because with a regular footer, what happens is sometimes when you are sewing, it will push the fabric. So you finish sewing and realize that the fabric will push back a bit and you have some space. So make sure you bring it very close so that even if it pushes, at the end of the day, you get everything equally. Okay. When you finish, this one goes inside. You realize that when it's like this one has turned. This one is in its right position. This zip is in its right position. This one has turned. So when you finish, just turn it back and both will be at their right position. You see, and you need to do it this way so that as a beginner, you don't confuse yourself. So when you do it this way, just bring the other side of your skirt or your top on it this way, so you don't confuse yourself, because sometimes you can sew and by the time you realize you have turned it, some people will end up turning it this way and then they will sew. And so after sewing, they realize that when they close, this one has turned and it's difficult, so they have to undo one of the zips and then rearrange it. So in order to avoid everything, place this on top this way. You place it on top, you realize that everything is okay. Then you will hold the zip allowance line and then bring it out this way. You see, very simple. As a beginner, be cautious, because you can, zip alone can make you cry. I remember when I started learning how to sew, one of the things that caused me to cry a lot was fixing of zip. I can use the whole day to fix a zip for one dress and I'll be crying and I'll be praying, oh God, you are the master of architect or whatever. God help me. God help me. Because of zip, I nearly gave up on sewing. So I'm trying to teach you all the tricks so that you don't go through the dilemma I went through. Anyway, that is just by the way. Okay. And so when you finish, you just bring this one also inside like this. And you realize that both are equal, then close it and that'll be okay. So we are going to sew everything through. We are going to sew and then I'll teach you how to close this. Then we come to this one also, and we are going to use this American zip for it. Now with this two, this one, when you are sewing, you can close. We are going to close this part. Don't close it before attaching your zip, and after attaching your zip you are closing it, you will find it very difficult. Okay, so make sure you close where you want the zip to end before you attach it. So you're going to attach it this way. This one too, you can still sew it in a secret form, just as we did for the first one, this way, and sew on top. But this we are going to sew on top this way. Okay, so you just pin it this way. And then this one is supposed to go inside. This zip is supposed to go inside. And then what you have to do is, this one comes a bit here. So you pin everything on top. This one, the idea is that the fabric will cover the zip a bit, but you can make one side to cover more and one side to come out a bit. So we are going to make this one come out not to cover fully. Then this side we are going to make sure that it will cover fully, so it will cover this way. So at the end of the day, when you close, you realize that so the zip will be inside and this one will cover on top this way. So this is it. So when you finish and you close it, you see this one will be on top like this, and so the zip will be hidden inside. So you are going to sew on this for you to see. Okay, now I'm going to use the zip footer for this. I'm going to use the zip footer, and because I'm sewing on this side, you see we have two sides. We have one corner here, another corner here. So where you are sewing will determine the corner you should use. And so I'm going to use, because I'm sewing on this side, I'm going to use this corner. Next, this way, and we are going to sew. So I'm going to sew, making sure that I'll get close to this, very close. Okay, so I'll take the pin. So you have to try and secure this place. And you have to try as much as you can to make sure that the place is flat. And don't pull the zip. Don't pull the zip alone. If you pull the zip, you are going to have difficulties. So if you pull anything, then let it be both the zip and the dress. But just don't pull. Relax and let it lie flat and sew. Just trying to secure that part. Okay. If you're a beginner, when you sew, when you get here, don't secure. Wait, check if everything is okay before you secure, because sometimes you secure and you realize that everything is not okay, you have to remove and you give yourself stress. Okay. You see, it's very close. It's very close. But before you sew the next one, you have to close the zip and see if you have not sewn on the teeth somewhere. Sometimes some of the thread can choke somewhere and then you find it difficult to close it after. So make sure everything, the zip can move. You can close it very well before you sew the other one. Okay, so I can move it easily. So I can just bring it back, open it, and then sew the other side. I'm going to bring it here this way, and I'm going to change this corner to this corner here. Then I'll bring this one here. Then I'm going to sew. What some people do is when they sew it this way, after they will turn and then sew from the down here. The unfortunate thing that can happen is that when you do it that way, this can pull. And then after you realize that it's not balancing. And so if you started from the top here, make sure that the other part too, you will start it from the top. Okay. Because it's a right side, this one, it's difficult, a bit stressing sewing. And so what you do is you just sew straight without considering it being here. After you have secured it down, you can just turn it the other way where it will be easy for you to sew. You see, look at this, the space here, very much compared to this side. And so this side, you see that everything is very close to the teeth, but this, see the space. So I'm going to turn it this way and I'll be able to sew it on this line. Okay, so I am done. So I'll close it this way. So you will check if everything is okay here. It's okay. The zip line, it's also equal. And so when you get it this way, it means you are done. The next thing to do is just attach your hook and eye here. We are going to sew this. I'm going to teach you how to use the regular footer to sew a secret zip. Okay. What you are going to do is we are going to sew on this. And so we are not going to, this is the zip line, and so we'll open the zip line this way away from the dress or the skirt, and we are going to sew on top. So what you do is you open the zip first. When you are sewing, you will get it this way. You are going to bring this one out so that you can sew in the corner here. Do you get it? Okay. And because this is not a zip footer, it can sew this line and leave the rest. So just pull it this way and then sew. Okay, so see where I did my sewing, the thread, you see. So I'm going to sew this side also. Just try and open it up this way. see? Okay, so this is it now. When we bring it out this way, this is it, you see. So you're going to close it. So after closing it, this is it. You don't get to see much of the zip. It's in this way, you see. So this is it. When you finish it this way, you just open it this way, the zip allowance folded together, the side of the zip also together, and then you are going to put it, so you are going to close it where you want to close now. You want to end where you want the opening to end. Then you secure it. But the closing is here, but the zip is inside. The closing is here. Okay, so after, you see, after the zip is inside, you will not see. And so this is it, everything is in, you see. So when I open up, this is it, you see. So it will lock here. So you are done with your secret zip, everything locked very well. Okay, so you are going to sew this. As I said, you can decide to sew it here, or you can decide to sew it here. And as I said, with this you have to close it before you would sew the zip. So you are going to close it first. Now because this place will be where the zip ends, it can tear, so you have to make sure you secure that place very well. So after this, we can now attach our zip. We're going to sew it here. Okay, and you're going to, so you see this one, the zip allowance will be sewn together with the fabric itself, or the dress itself. Open the zip down, you see. I'll open it down so that I can easily sew. Okay, so this is it. So you see your thread will show outside, so you have to make sure that you sew on a straight line. Now we are going to sew this side, but this side I'm not going to sew it here, I'm going to sew it outside here. Okay, so I'm going to position my zip very well. Now when you get to when you are left with some few inches, like 1 inch to where you secured, make sure you close the zip, bring it up before you continue sewing. If not, because you have locked this place, it will be difficult for you to close it or bring the zip up. So you see where the zip the handle is locked, so just bring it up. Okay, this way, that's okay. Now one of the things that can give you a headache when you are sewing zip is this corner here. You see how it has folded a bit here. So what I'm going to do is I'll just take it this way, and I'm going to complete it here. Remove a bit, because you want, at the end of the day, you want this place to lie flat. Okay, so I'm going to secure it from here. This is where the opening is. I'm going to secure this place, so I'll just come here this way. Secure it this way. Come this way a bit. Depends on how far you want to go, but don't go too much. Then we'll turn it this way. So on top, you're securing it. Okay, then you turn it this way. Now this place went too much, so I'm trying to take some of the thread and then position it very well. Okay guys, so this is it. You see, this is what we usually use for most of our dresses and our skirts and all that, but of late this method of fixing zip is no longer used. This one, the thread will show outside, so you see you have to make sure that you sew on a straight line. So when you close, this is how it will appear. This one will be on top, and the zip will be inside. And so this is it. Okay, so and this is for the secret zip, you see. So when you open, this is it. Okay, so this type too. So if you don't want to, maybe you are not giving your dress a full zip like this one, then you have to close where you want the open to end before you attach your zip to it. Okay, so this is it for how to fix zip or attach zip to your dress. Thanks so much for watching. If you have not yet subscribed, please consider subscribing, like and share the video. Bye bye.